Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a video on highlighting and contouring. I love highlighting and contouring. Any and everyone can do it, no matter what kind of face shape you have, because it just looks good on everyone. So what contouring is, just think of it as you're drawing attention away from an area. When you contour, you're adding the dimension to it. So what highlighting is the complete opposite of contouring. You're going to be drawing attention to an area. So some places you can contour are, just an easy way to remember is you make kind of like a 3 or a backwards 3 depending on what side you're on. But you can do your hairline. I don't usually do my hairline because I don't really have that big of a forehead, but you can start right here at your temples, go down to your cheekbones, and then do your jawbone. You can also contour your nose if you want to make it appear a little bit slimmer. You can work with the point and kind of sculpt that a little bit more. There's a lot of different techniques out there to really make your face look more sculpted. It's a really cool idea. When you can do your eyes, when you apply like a brown or any type of crease color, a dark crease color, and you apply it in your crease, that's also contouring. If you're doing like kind of like an old age thing, you can do it right here. When you get older, you can you kind of create like these little lines kind of naturally. You can contour right here. You can see that. I don't usually contour, but if you're going for a more dramatic look, you really want to bring out your cheeks, you can contour right here and just like all this. And then with highlighting, you kind of, again, you do the opposite. So you'll want to do kind of more in the center of your face. So you can do your forehead, down the bridge of your nose, especially if you're going to make your nose appear smaller. You definitely want to highlight right here. So do your lips. If you want to make your lips appear fuller, you can do right here on the cupid's bow. If you're doing like a red lip, you can kind of highlight right here just to kind of make the lip stand out a little bit more. Right here on your chin, cheekbones, really important. If you're doing like an everyday look, I definitely recommend you highlight the cheekbones, kind of like make a little C right here around your eyebrow and eye area. It really looks nice. Of course, right underneath your eyebrow, you can do your inner tear duct. I love doing my inner tear duct. If you look at a lot of my videos from the summertime, I did a lot of highlighting on the inner part of my eye, and what that does is it really opens up your eyes and looks really pretty on everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is actually go through and do a little bit of highlighting on my face. I don't have any foundation on right now. This is actually something I've been doing a lot lately of. I love this look. I find my skin, because you guys know I have oily skin, I find it doesn't look as oily, it doesn't get oily as fast, and it doesn't look as cakey either. So what I want to do is actually mix, this is a new little step that I've added to my foundation routine. I'm going to mix my MAC Studio Finish Concealer. I love this concealer a lot. I have a NC35, which as you can tell is a lot lighter than my skin tone. And then I have a NC45 concealer. Just so you can see, this one is what I use all over my face, like spot conceal, so it does match my skin more. And what I'm going to do is just mix the two together so I can get kind of like an in-between. So the reason why I like to mix the foundations is because I find it doesn't, I don't know, it's a more subtle highlight than anything, especially for underneath my eyes. But yeah, I just take a little for both of them, about that much, and I'm going to do pretty much my entire face. So I'm going to mix the two together. Okay, so this is what the color looks like now. As you can see, it's just a tad bit lighter than my skin tone, and I'm just going to take my finger, tap it in there. This is a cream product, so you do kind of have to warm it up just a little bit. And I'm going to tap this underneath my eyes. Highlighting underneath your eyes really makes you look a little bit more awake. And since this is a concealer, or if you're using a foundation, it will kind of conceal any dark circles that I have. I'm also going to highlight right here on my chin, the center of my forehead, and I'm going to go back and do underneath my brows and like my eye area after I have applied my foundation. I've powdered everywhere. So I'm taking the highlight color just a little bit onto the apples of my cheek. This is where the apples of my cheeks are, and as you can see, it's right here, kind of like almost midway my cheek area. And what this will do is really make the cheeks stand out a lot more as you're highlighting. Okay, so this is what I look like now. Everything is highlighted for the most part except for my eye area, and again, I'm going to do that after I've powdered everything. But if you don't want to apply or do your highlighting before you do your foundation and stuff, you can always go back with like a lighter powder and highlight places. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply foundation pretty much almost everywhere that I have not applied the concealer, the highlight color. So right here, I'll go above my lip, and actually I'm going to go over my forehead and my chin and my nose just to blend it all in, but you'll still be able to see it a little bit. So the foundation I'm using, this is actually a new foundation that I'm trying out. This is and I'm going to do the places that I have not concealed first or highlighted first, and then I'll go back after and do like my chin and stuff. But the foundation that I'm using is actually this Mehron HD or Celebre HD Pro foundation. And now I'm going to go over, get a little bit more, I'm going to go over everywhere that I have a highlight color, except for underneath my eye area. Hopefully you guys can really see, it's not too much of a contrast yet because I haven't contoured, but hopefully y'all can see that some places are a little bit more highlighted than others. I'm just going through and blending this in because this is a cream foundation. Okay, so I just powdered majority of my face, but I left my under eye area alone because I want to put a translucent powder there. Instead of putting like a powder that has some color to it, like this, I like using translucent because it adds just the right amount of color without making my skin look really ashy or too white and stuff. So I'm just going to apply that right underneath my eye and kind of bring it down. And again, everywhere that I have the concealer, basically, I'm going to apply the powder because we want to set that. And I'm also going to take some more of this powder and again, just put it right on my forehead because I want to highlight that some more. I did powder that area already, but I just wanted to stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish highlighting around my eye area before I start contouring. So I'm going to use two colors. One color, this is the color that I'm going to use underneath my brow bone. And it has a bit of a pink undertone to it. I like using mattes for underneath my brows because that's just kind of like what I prefer. Sometimes I'll use shimmery. I've also used this color that I'm about to show you to highlight, and it also looks really good. You just have to use a little bit if you are a darker skinned woman. So this is Ricepaper from MAC, and I'm not sure who made this eyeshadow. It's from an old palette that I had, but this is Ricepaper. Kind of like a goldish, kind of like a gold color. It does have shimmer to it. And the brush I'm using is actually a paintbrush. It's Low Cornell Maxine's Mop 270. Okay, so I'm just going to apply that matte color right underneath my brows. And what this will do is two things. It'll set the concealer that I used to clean up my brows. And it'll also make my brow bone stand out more. I don't recommend you use white. If you're going for a more natural look, go for something that's kind of close to your skin tone. This color, even though it's a lot lighter than my skin tone, it is quite pigmented, but once you start blending it in and once it kind of mixes with that concealer, it does kind of start matching up more with my skin tone. Okay, so like that. Now I'm going to go in with the Ricepaper and I'm going to highlight my inner tear duct. Just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and contour, and what I'm using to contour is Blunt. This is a powder blush from MAC. When you're contouring, you'll want to use something that's darker, because remember, you're creating a shadow, so maybe 1 or 2 shades darker than your skin tone. You don't have to have a blush to contour. You can use anything really. You can use a eyeshadow. This is a really good color to contour with. This is Corduroy. This is from MAC. As you see, this is a lot darker, so if I were to use this, I would use a really light hand. If you have a what do you call this, a powder a setting powder or something that's too dark, like a couple of shades darker than you, that would be good. They make bronzers and stuff depending on your complexion, because bronzers don't always necessarily contour for everyone. Okay, so the brush I'm using is the 129. This is actually quite big. Because I know where to place the color, this is fine. I've learned how to work with it. But if you're using something that's a little bit big and you don't know really where to put the color, you can kind of pinch the bristles like so and go through and contour and stuff. Or you can use a contour brush like this. It's an angled brush. This will give you more control of where the color will go, and remember to blend it out when you're doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit on the brush. Just a little bit. I think for this video I'm going to use a little bit more, but just so you can see it on camera. But the place that you want to put it is, remember, you're going to do that little backwards 3 or 3 depending on what side you're using. And you can, there's several different techniques you can do this. If you put kind of tap your cheekbone, that little area, you'll go a little bit further down and it's kind of soft. That's where you want to put it. You can also do a fish face, and that will definitely show exactly where to put it. Right there. What I'm going to do, I'll pinch it just so you all can see this little technique. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go back and forth like so. And you can really see that color. It's really pigmented and it's a really harsh line. You don't want to leave it like that. And then I'm going to do circular motions to buff it out. Hopefully you guys can see a difference. This side looks a lot more sculpted and a little bit more slimmer, and this side looks a little bit more pudgier. So I'm going to do the other side just so you can see. Now I'm going to contour my nose, and I'm going to use a 124 brush from MAC, and I'm just going to use the same contour color. And let me see, when you're contouring your nose, you want to use a light hand, and what you're going to do is you're going to go like literally straight down your nose and kind of curve it up towards your eyebrow, so like so. And I'm using a really light hand when I'm doing this. Normally what I do for like an everyday look, I don't really like to contour my nose like this because it takes forever. What I'll do is I'll take my, what is this, 129 brush, dip it in there just a little bit, and I'll go on the sides just like that, and it contours my nose perfectly. But just to show you all, oops, sorry. I kind of take it up towards the brow area, because remember, you're trying to make it slimmer, so contour it right here, in not so much the tear duct area, but right here, right on that bone. Okay, I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to dip it into that translucent powder, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go right down the bridge of my nose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same crease color and I'm going to just lightly apply it on right in my crease. Now I'm going to go through and put the finishing touches on this look. The color that I'm going to use, it's all broken up. This is the Lorac bronzer. I did a review on this. I'll put it right here if you'd like to see that. Okay, so bronzers work differently for different skin tones. If you're darker, bronzers will work more so to kind of give you a more sun-kissed look. If fair skinned, it'll give you more, it'll add more color to your face, and you can kind of use it to contour. And I'm just going to tap this onto my cheekbones. Again, you can use eyeshadows for this. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this tutorial, and hopefully you can all see more dimension and stuff to my face. I know I can. It's a lot more dramatic than I normally do, just because of the camera and stuff, just so I can pick it up more. But like I said, I love highlighting and contouring. It looks good on everybody. It's definitely my favorite thing to do with makeup. And you can also check out my website. Like I said, I'm going to put the face where exactly to contour and highlight. And I'm also going to list some products that you can use when you're highlighting and contouring and stuff. So till next time, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.